Hello everyone. I don't even know what's inside this box. It came in a plastic bag and then the box is totally glued together. So I figured I'd do an unboxing because this is how it came. Yeah, so there's a tear tab here. I have a suspicion it's a clock, but we'll find out. Okay. That opens up. This opens up. This opens up. Okay, yeah, it's going to be a clock. So, good padding, and there should be because there are glass vacuum tubes inside of this thing. Okay, so that thing here, and then I don't know why there's a second board here. Literally, if you want to, I guess, solder up a board. I don't know if that's for show or what, but you can see here through the plastic. Let me get it out of the plastic. Hold on. I don't know if they just had an extra piece or what, but what does this say? How does a nixie tube work? Yeah, there's neon, cathodes, and an anode, and it's in a gaseous tube, and that gas reacts with the cathodes, I guess, and probably jumps the electricity to the anode or something. It makes it glow. So these are all the anodes for those IN-14 tubes. These tubes made during the Cold War in Russia. I don't know what that would mean, or that would mean, or that would mean. Maybe there's 4 different names for the same tubes? Oh, no. These are different sizing charts. So this is the interface for, I guess, 1080 tubes. I've just never heard of these tubes because I'm pretty new to nixies. And then you can have an idea of what wire gauge, although it doesn't actually say a number next to the hole. So that's interesting. There's a website, nixieclock.org, and so it's an interesting promotional item, something to talk about. Okay, common diodes and transistors, and there's actually a ruler on this thing. So it's a really cool ruler. That's actually a really neat freebie. I can't guarantee if you'll get one. This was ordered during Christmas time, so maybe that's, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, let me back out. So the box says Omnixie, the light never fades. There's no actual sticker saying what model number, no QR, no barcode or anything, so I guess it's not for ever sold at retail, just online. Okay, this is actually pretty soft foam. I would have guessed the foam would be denser than this. Well, anyways, I guess it absorbs impact. So, alright, so first thing we have is a USB charger, and it's got the Chinese approval, at least SAE. S&D? I think it's SAE. That's, anyways. But no CE approval, so I don't know if this is gonna be truly safe or not, but it has some approval. I already have a USB wire ready to go. So, oh, this is the old school micro. Yeah, so that's kind of, this must have been designed a while back. Let me get some scissors here. And a ruler. Well, a longer ruler than the one they gave us. Let me fold this over. It's probably like a 1 meter cable. I don't know. Let's see. Granted, it's not fully straight. If I fold that 4 lengths, yeah, 25. So it's 25 centimeters. So that times 4. This is a 1 meter, but it's the old micro C cable. So keep that in mind. Don't throw out your micro Cs quite yet. You might need one to replace that one day. There's a convenient remote control, which actually looks identical, or yeah, button-wise, I think it looks the same as my other nixie clock. And so there's a little battery protector, so now we're conducting current. Oh no, this is a little different. This door is a little different. It's the same 2025 cell. So I think probably insides are the same, but this outer shell might be a little different. Interesting, there's no sticker there either. Okay, be careful here. So now, oh boy, the tubes aren't installed. I guess that makes sense because they're really delicate leads. So I am going to pull these out in order. Just place them here for now, or actually over here, so I don't run the risk of dropping anything on them. Just gently placing them down because they're very thin wires hooking this stuff up. These things are vintage. I wasn't even born probably when these things were made. Nixie tubes are meant for old military and scientific equipment. They're not meant to actually be clocks, just to show a status of something. So, alright, that's all nicely cut out foam there. And be careful here because these two tubes are actually on the board, which is quite daring. I would have guessed these would be separate too, so I don't know if these can be replaced or not. They might be soldered in there. That would be the only logical reason as to why they're on this thing. So okay, that is quite interesting. There is no documentation. There's no instruction manual. Granted, it's just a clock, but luckily, since I bought a previous one with the same remote, I think I can figure this out. Let me get all this foam out of the way here. So you might want to keep this box if you ever intend to sell it or give it away later, because you know these tubes are just going to get destroyed in regular shipping. Alright, so let's take a look at this thing. I don't know where the front is. I assume it's this actually, because this looks like a sensor, an infrared sensor for the remote. And so you can see where those leads are going to go in. And then these are RGB 50/50 LEDs, I believe. Let's see if it actually says. It doesn't say, but they look like 50/50s to me, meaning they're 5 millimeters across each way. Okay. And there's some sort of venting here to help cool it off. Possibly there's a speaker in there. I see a battery here, so that's keeping time for us in the event that you don't have it hooked up to a power bank or that USB cable. This is actually brushed metal, brushed aluminum, I would assume. It's quite cold to the touch. I don't think it's stainless. I have suspicion it's aluminum. That's fine. Whatever works as a heat sink is good. And that's what I think allows it to be so thin, because this thing is probably a heat sink, but I might be mistaken. I'm not going to take it apart. So being very careful. So you can see this glass tube contains, I guess, the colons for in between the numbers. You can see this one's a little bit taller because these are made, you know, back in the 50s, 60s, or 70s. So not like modern products today. Alright, so there's the micro C connector, and then this is bamboo wood. So you can get different kinds of wood. I just went with the cheapest one. I don't really care. It's also more sustainable, I suppose. I think bamboo looks nice. I like the light color of it. See, that's the grain of the bamboo. Okay, going to the bottom, we have some silicone rubber feet just glued on there, or sticky, you know, probably double-sided tape or something. And then we have a bunch of hex button head hexes, and then for some reason there's little black soft contacts here. I can't explain that because the feet are much taller than it, so I don't know. Why would they go through the effort of putting those there? Please leave a comment if you have some theories. Alright, well, it's very, very minimal, so I kind of like it. In fact, I want to actually maybe measure, just for curiosity's sake. Ignoring the rubber feet, or whatever, I guess I'll include the rubber feet. It's only 11.6 millimeters thick. This wood is 6.2, and then that aluminum, what's the difference? I don't know, it's like 3.2 maybe, or 3.4 I guess. So, I guess that board is embedded inside this bamboo. Quite interesting, quite interesting. I find the construction of things interesting. Sorry if it bores you. So I think this is a button possibly, maybe a touch capacitive button. If you don't have the remote, maybe. but without instructions, I don't really know. Let's take a look at this tube here. OTK10. Some Russian letters. If you know Russian, what are those letters and translate to English? 8912. And then these contacts are all clipped to the same height roughly. I see pictures of these raw, and the leads are quite long, so it's nice that these are trimmed already. Alright, so I'm trying to guess how this thing is made and works. So there's some sort of, all the leads are going up to this metal plate, and they're going through it, so they're leading to all the numbers, I assume. But the screen is the anode, was it, or the cathode? And then what is this round object? Is that a magnet somehow that messes with the electricity? I don't know anything about it. I'm not an electrical engineer. There seems to be maybe a glass or metal plate here, you know, keeping the thing from rattling around inside the tube. But then this back thing, maybe that's just a thin piece of metal to reflect most of the light forward. I guess without it, maybe a lot of the light, you know, half the light would go backwards and it wouldn't be as effective to read. That's what I assume. So interesting, huh? Okay. So if you don't know the diameter of this type of tube, it's like 17.7, or probably supposed to be 18. The total length, though, I'm going to ignore the leads because those can vary in length. This one's around 56 millimeters. I guess with the leads it would be, boy, maybe 60 millimeters or so. Okay, now I guess it's idiot proof because you know the numbers have to face forward. And so I have to just put this in carefully without bending. Oh, that actually went in very easily. Now I'm pushing it down. Okay, so pushing it down, now it grips the thing. Still probably not a good idea to do that, but so that is number one. So I think these are all maybe from the same batch. Let's put this in here. So it doesn't really matter which tube you put where. You know, they all have 1 through 9 plus 0. So they're all supposed to be identical, but I wouldn't be surprised at some point in time maybe some people would get tubes that are not exactly from the same batch or even the same manufacturer. I don't know how many manufacturers made these particular IN-14 tubes. If anyone knows, please leave a comment. I'm sure other people would want to know as well. I don't really research too much in case you're new to my channel. If you look up how many videos I've done, that's the reason why. I don't make a living off YouTube. YouTube is not, unless you bake bread or have large breasts, you're not going to get millions of followers. I just do it because I appreciate the things I buy if I review them. And if I can help you save money or make smart purchasing decisions, there's less garbage in the world. I sound like a hippie. Okay, well, I would have to guess this is going to work now. Let me find that good old micro C. Oh, hold on. My little carousel type C. Careful not to drop this. It's also upside down in my opinion. The flat side goes up top. Okay, look at that. So by default, the LEDs come on and they're all changing colors, which is kind of neat. And then 2251, and then the seconds. That might actually be the correct time. I don't even know what time it is. I don't have a clock in this room, and I can't turn the camera off because that's what I'm shooting the video on. So I have a suspicion that might be correct, but maybe not. You can see the colons here are flashing because it's trying to preserve the life of the elements. And the seconds are really cool how they fade in and out. I don't recall my other Nixie tubes doing that. I'll bring that out later on. See, the fading of this thing is really neat. Let me get in on this thing really close. We are at 4 times magnification. That's really cool. Look at how the numbers, they're glowing. It's definitely bigger than the metal. The orange, if you look like at the number 6 here, now look how wide it is, right? That is super cool. It's like a very big incandescent light bulb. That's what it reminds me of. It's probably the same metal. I don't know what they use for those metals. Let's see if I can touch this button in the back and see if it does anything. I wonder if that's a light sensor. There is a red LED I can see now down in there. I do feel like this might be a speaker here. I see a bunch of round holes in a plate. So maybe there's an alarm clock function? So these are the listings today. They're on AliExpress. The cheapest price is the actual Omnixie official store. If you want to help the channel out, you can pay more than twice as much. This is the first one with affiliation, but I wouldn't blame you to go here. So when I click that link, this page comes up, and you actually can see there's different tubes that we're looking at on that ruler. So you can buy all these things with different tubes. But IN-14 is a very popular one, it seems. And it's also the cheapest one. So this is no joke, this 5441. That thing is, that's an expensive clock. Too expensive for me. This one as well. Alright, well anyways, this is a pretty insane machine. So I had to switch locations because the internet doesn't reach that studio room. I wasted over an hour, maybe 2, trying to figure out the problem. And it's basically the receiver in this clock isn't very good, or my internet Wi-Fi just isn't very good. Anyways, you can download the manual here at nixieclock.org, or the AliExpress listing had a link as well. So here's the English manual for this thing. It's 50 pages long. So I'm going to just blaze through it. The contents, the dimensions. Basically, the first thing you have to, it's the remote control stuff. The first thing you have to do is obviously put in the tubes, plug it up, which we did. And then you'll see this red LED back there. That means that it's not connected to the internet. So there's many ways to connect it. In this case, I'm going to use my phone. So you pause and read this. You can basically search, create Wi-Fi on your phone. And then in this case, Omnixie shows up. I'm going to go to the settings. I'm going to hit manage router. So you have to type in your SSID, which conveniently is on my router, and then your password to your network. So that last screen I showed actually didn't work because I forgot I renamed my network. So the SSID written on my router is not what I put in. Instead, I put my network name and my network password, and then the clock basically shut itself off, rebooted with a more accurate time, and now has a green LED. So that green LED means it's hooked up to the network. But I gotta say, it's 1 hour off from the clock on my notebook computer there. So let me scroll down. After it times, it basically has access to your network. We want to try to find the dashboard. So I'm going to scroll down here. Here we go. This doesn't make sense to me opening on Android because it's saying remote control to menu 17, and I don't see anything even saying menu, so I don't want to deal with that. So I'm just using my computer here with Windows. So if you, let's see here, this is configuring with the computer. Open dashboard on Windows, you'd go to omnixie.local, and after doing so, this is what comes up. I have it zoomed in quite a bit. It defaults to Chinese, but see, I run Google Chrome, so it automatically translates everything. I'll just leave it at Chinese. So that's what it was supposed to look like, but you can change it to this. And then the first thing I went to was general. And so you have 12, 24-hour format selection. And for me, changing the date is pretty important because I think it defaulted to years, then month and day or something. So whatever you want to do. I disabled leading 0, figuring if I don't have the numbers lit, they'll last longer. Time interval So if I do time interval 1 second, date display 1 second, it should constantly switch between time and date, I imagine. Also, brightness and darkness here. So right now it's at the darkest setting. I'm going to set it to brightest. Nothing changes until you actually save the settings, though. I kind of wish it previewed it, but it doesn't. Here is quite important. It defaults to Chinese, but English, Japanese, and Dutch. No, German, Deutsch. I assume that's German. Sorry if you can't see that. And then the volume, I reduced it down to 2 because this mic is sensitive. You can probably hear my breathing even. So I'm going to save the settings. Let's look at how bright this becomes. Hit OK. So I do think the digits got a little brighter. Definitely the LEDs got brighter. So let me just change that brightness back because I don't want them to burn out. Okay. So your call. I don't know if the numbers actually changed or not. And now you can see every second is shifting between the date and the time. So that's a little crazy, just having a 1 second difference. Okay, so I gotta change that actually again. Maybe my time will be 5 seconds and the display of the date will just be 2 seconds. And maybe we want to, let's check if it's German. Okay. Not sure why that page vanished. I have a suspicion this server is far away from where I live. I had to refresh it in order for this to come back. You'll notice the leading 0 is turned off here on this particular screen because it's now 1 in the morning. Going back to this here. So I have to change the intervals to 1 minute, so it'll now tell us in, you know, what Deutsch is. Let's listen to for that voice. This is all technical stuff for the Wi-Fi. Yeah, okay. And some sort of technical stuff for whatever an NTP server is. Oh, daylight savings start and end. So that's why my clock is off by an hour. So I changed the hour to 0 for daylight savings, and right now it's at 1:02. Let's see if I save. Okay, if it changes. It did not change. It's 12:02 right now, so I'm not sure why it's showing up as 1:02. Let's see about advanced. Alright, the tube types, I have no idea. Oh, CPP interval every 10 minutes. I think that might be like a cathode protection program. Yeah, so basically it's going to scroll through. That was German, I believe. So I'm going to change this interval to every 3 seconds. And I'm going to have it run for, I guess it runs for 5 seconds up to 30 seconds. So that's going to refresh the numbers. Let's save settings, hit OK. In 3 seconds, I think those numbers are all going to scroll. Oh, never mind. It's 3 minutes, not 3. Oh, wait. So there you can see. So it's refreshing all those numbers, trying to burn them out more evenly. Because without doing that, that 0 is going to burn out a lot. You'll see the website here. I don't know why it did this. So I might have to refresh this again. I figured out why my clock was off is because the UTC time zone was off. So the coordinated universal time for Bangkok happens to be +7. So once I change that and save the setting, I also have daylight savings disabled because that's how we roll here. So it changed to 12 o'clock now. I also changed it to Japanese if you listen to that voice. So you could at least learn 3 other languages, you know, just using this. But I very often have to refresh this app through the computer screen. I don't know if the phone would work faster than that, but yeah. All right, so I'm going to change this to like 5 minutes for now. Hit OK. I wish you didn't have to save it all the time. Just refreshing the digits. So, not bad. It's very using this dashboard, even though you might have to refresh the screens a bunch of times. It's pretty fast. It's definitely faster than using this remote. So I was wondering how to turn off the LEDs. I didn't see it on that dashboard, so I actually am going to have to learn to use this remote. So if you hit the function key, this is menu 1, and there's 17 menus. So now that previous thing I didn't understand makes a little more sense. So now if you scroll left and right, basically function 1 is setting the time, but I've already done that online. So, oh, I'm sorry, this is setting the format of time to 12 or 24 hours. So it's a 12-hour format right now. Menu 2, it's setting the date format, and it shows number 3 is day, months, and year, so that makes sense over there. Menu 3, interval of time display. So this is all done in the dashboard, so I'm going to skip over these. Set leading 0, that was in the dashboard. Now this, though, I don't recall seeing over there in the dashboard. So let's go to menu 6. And now, right now we have number 3 set. So that's crossfading by default of the digits. But I want them to fade in and out. So let's hit that and hit OK. Oh, maybe set. OK. Alright, so how do I get out of this now? OK, maybe, or cancel. So this is the digits fading in and out. Do you see it happening? I guess. They're kind of fading. Okay, yeah, like here. You can see. Alright, that's interesting. So I'm going to go to function again, go to 6. Set. And now, oh, that was crossfading. So I didn't set it to fade in and out. Oh, this is a preview right here, I guess. So number 2, this is fade in and out. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm new to this thing. Let's see if we can set just normal. So normal, the numbers shift quite quickly. So fade in and out, crossfading, and then slot machine. Okay, slot machine goes through all the numbers, and I guess that's, trying to keep the numbers burning out more evenly, but it's a little chaotic, I think, to look at. I think crossfading is pretty good, or possibly fade in and out. So you can see how it goes dark, fading in and out, whereas the crossfading, it just goes from one number to the next. I think I like the default. It's a wise choice. Okay. Alright, so that's set there. Okay, menu 7, what do we have? Set switching speeds of the digits. That was also in the, well, maybe it wasn't. So let's go to 7. So number 7 is the default speed, and 1 is the fastest, and 10 is the slowest. So hopefully it'll preview here. Oh, boy. I think I have to hit set. So 7, set. Let's go to 10. So now you can see pretty slow fade, right? Let's go down to 1. I don't know. Hit set. Now it's at 1. I don't know if that made a difference. I can't tell off the top of my head, but let me hit set or OK. So this is supposed to be the slowest fade of the digits. Maybe it's like 1 second in between. Let me change that now to 1. That's the fastest. It is faster, but I thought it was going to go, I don't know. I thought it was going to be a more obvious difference. But it is related to time of seconds, so I guess that's the limitation, right? So, okay. Anyways, let's move on. Menu 8, set colons. You can fade them in, blink, always on and off. You probably don't want to leave them always on because they'll burn out. In this case, it's set to... Let's change here. So, default is fade in and out. Let me change that to blinking. That's blinking, always on, and always off. So I think the default makes the most sense. Set or OK. Alright. Menu 9 is set the alarm tone. Okay, so now we can preview those sounds. Set. Wow, that's weird. It's a catchy tune. I feel like waking up and dancing. Ooh, I find that annoying, but that's what you want to get out of bed. Sounds like a phone bell. Phone ringer. Ooh, almost like a Knight Rider or something. Is that a xylophone? That's too happy. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, that's not very fun either. Ooh, well, it's not as bad, but still not fun. Ooh, that's rough. Oh. Hey. Alright, anyways. Okay. I'm not going to use it as an alarm, so... Number 10, what do we have? Set alarm volume. Yeah, alright, so you can go from 1 to 8. So clock language, you can use the dashboard or this here. Interval of the talking clock, you can use the dashboard again. Backlight effects, this is what I want to do here. Fade in and out or always on. So I got to go to menu 13. It's set. So fade in and out is nice, but... No, I'm sorry, this is fade in and out. 1, they're just off. And then 3, they're just always on. But it's not a great... See, they're still fading. It's just they're changing colors. But fade in and out, I guess, literally goes black for a second. That's the difference. Maybe the text could have been a little bit more descriptive there. I think I actually prefer it as the default. Okay, so the 14 is what? Backlight colors. Okay, 1 to 15. Preview and setting. Okay, well, anyways, it's set. Let's start at 1. So it's going through all the colors. 2 is just red. 3. So now we're talking solid colors. But 9, you have a mix of colors, and they're shifting colors. You know, see that one? It's just changing colors. 10. It's doing the same thing, but maybe at a different speed. Oh, it's going in sequence. That's kind of neat. Knight Rider-ish again. So 11, I'm going to have to remember that one. 12 is just going the opposite direction. Okay. Shift outside to... Alright, they're coming in. That's probably the best one so far. Now they're going outwards. Red outwards. Okay. 14 is pretty good. I guess 15 is just all yellow. I like 14 or off, but we'll just set it to this. Huh, but now it's off, so I can't explain that. I'll have to go back and mess with it. So, menu 15, set interval of cathode protection prevention or whatever. Disabled, I don't want that. So yeah, this is probably better off just doing through the dashboard. In theory, if it's a lower amount of minutes, it's going to scroll through the digits more and hopefully keep them from getting burnt out, as you can read that text if you want to. So I'm going to mess with that later. 16, running time, 5 to 30 seconds. Defaults of 5, that seems fine. And then firmware revision. What firmware is on this thing? I got one, I don't know what that means. 1.92 or 1.68, 1, 5? I don't know what version I have. I guess it doesn't matter. Being on Wi-Fi though, I guess you can probably do a firmware revision and stuff like that, but I'm pretty happy with the way it is right now. So let me exit this. Okay, so now you can see those things. Now they exited the menu. All right, I guess we should show it next to my original one, the IN-12s.
The time is 12:35 a.m.
I'm gonna turn that off later on. But you know, it's different form factor. This you're looking at here, they're kind of like a slot shape, but there's still variations in the glass. This one's much taller than the other one, same in there. And this one's kind of neat that you have the acrylic so you can see all the circuitry. But I'm a little curious about the brightness of these things. Sorry, that's not the right USB cable. Okay. And this one also has different light effects. So, boy, how do I adjust this better? I think they're basically the same size digits. I can't focus. I don't have enough hands. Yeah, I think they actually are the same size as height goes. Yeah, so it's just what shape you like more. I don't know, but I did read on some website that I think these 14s are supposed to last longer than these 12s. Maybe there's more gas in there or something, I don't know, or maybe the elements are a little bit thicker material. Can't really say for sure. Let me put this down here. Hold on. So I apologize here. This is not my studio. And then the last one is my Nixie watch. So those are definitely smaller digits. But I mean, it's a freaking watch, right? It's actually really cool. If you're unfamiliar with this, it shows the hour first, 12:26, and it does it twice, 12:26. So I did a review on all these things. Just look up Nixie. There's only 3 videos on my channel. I think I'll probably leave it at this. I'm pretty happy with what I have now. It's strange. I haven't bought an expensive clock ever. I guess there's plenty more expensive clocks, but I think a few $100s. It's kind of expensive for clocks when you can buy a wall clock for like $10, but these are really cool. I mean, just looking at the focal points of the numbers, how 1's way back there, the 3's up more towards the front. It's really neat. All right, so this is about this one. So I will just leave it with this shot here of it in the dark. I apologize for the convoluted review because it's my Wi-Fi just doesn't work in that review room, and then this whole setup is set up for doing videos. So I apologize for that, but hopefully you can see and appreciate through this video these Nixie tubes. They're really neat. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next gadget review. Bye now.